Everyone has problems and everyone is looking for solutions. In this video, I'm going to teach you 3 things to help you with your problems and find your solutions. Hello and welcome. My name is James Taylor. I'm a hypnotherapist, counsellor and life coach from number 1 Harley Street in London. Everyone has problems and everyone is looking for solutions. Now, sometimes them problems can be quite small and sometimes they can be quite big, depending on what they are. Sometimes we have solutions for them problems and sometimes we don't. So I'm going to teach you 3 ways of how you can look at your problems to find your solutions. Now I'm going to start this off with a bit of a story. There's a motivational speaker called Les Brown. And Les Brown said that he went to visit his friend one day, and his friend lived in a big house with a porch that used to go around the outside of the house. And as he walked up the stairs of the house, or the stairs to the porch, his friend's dog was on the porch itself, just fast asleep. But it was moaning and groaning and grumbling, and Les noticed this dog on the porch making this noise. And he said to his friend, who was also on the porch, "What's the matter with your dog? It's making all them strange noises." And the owner said, "Where the dog is lying, there's a nail that sticks out of the wood, and the dog is lying on top of it." And Les said, "Well, why doesn't the dog just move?" And his friend replied, "It isn't uncomfortable enough yet." Now, I don't know whether you've ever felt like that where you're lying on a nail. I know I certainly have. And it's, after a while, you just get to a point, or me personally, I get to a point where I think, enough now. I've been here too long. I need to change something. And that sits with me. So I'm going to teach you 3 things. Okay? Number 1, this one may seem a little bit radical, and it's not designed to offend anyone or upset anybody at all. But you are the problem, and you are also the solution. Now that may not sit well with some of the people who are watching this, and I don't mean to offend. I'm not judging you, I'm not criticising you in any way. But you can only be in charge of you. You can't be in charge of anything else. I'm in Harley Street at the moment. The road is just to my right, and I can't do anything about the traffic that is outside. Sometimes I'm here with clients and an emergency vehicle may go past, and that's just something I just have to deal with. I can't do anything about it, but what I can do is be in charge of how it affects me. So as soon as you take ownership of knowing that you are the problem, but you are the solution, all of a sudden you can own it. And that can be quite empowering to do. Now you may be thinking, but I've got problems at work, I've got problems with my relationships, I've got problems with friends, I've got problems with money. All them problems are not the outside world, they are yours. And as soon as you take ownership, you will realise, or hopefully by the end of this video you'll realise, that you also have the ability to be the solution as well. So that's number 1. Number 2, when we think of problems, we think of a solution to that problem. And that is a blessing and a curse in many ways. Because when we think of the problem, it can be a big thing. So therefore the solution needs to be a big thing to combat the big problem, if that makes sense. So I'd like you, if you can, to try and look at it in a slightly different way. When this was explained to me by a friend of mine, so many light bulbs went on. I couldn't believe I'd never considered this before, and now I do it all the time and it makes perfect sense. Instead of thinking of it as a problem and a solution, think of it instead. The problem is something that you don't know. You don't know how to fix it, because if you knew how to fix it, it wouldn't necessarily be a problem anymore. So think of it like this. Instead of it being a problem, think of it as a question. A question about something you don't yet have the answer to. So instead of a problem and a solution, think of it as a question and an answer. And this is moving over into a little bit of NLP or Neuro-Linguistic Programming, but I'm trying to reframe or change, just with the words alone, how this may be. Problem solution can seem quite big. A question and an answer doesn't seem so big. If you've got a problem, change it into a question. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3. When you have a question and you're looking for the answer, sometimes it can feel quite lonely. No one else understands. No one else could understand. You don't want to share what this is in case you are maybe viewed in a certain negative way by other people. Maybe if it makes you feel weak inside. But know that the saying 2 heads are better than 1 really are very, very true. So perhaps your question and your answer, perhaps your answer may involve collaborating with somebody else. And that doesn't necessarily mean talking about it with someone who is in the same boat as you are at the moment, because they don't know the answer either. Because if they knew, they wouldn't have that question. I'm trying to stay away from the word problem. So look at someone else who's maybe had this issue before and has overcome it in some way. What did they do to overcome it? Can you model or copy some of their behaviour? What did they learn that you don't yet know? But what did they learn that made things better for them, enabling them to move on? And a bit like that dog on the porch, it just decided not to lie on that nail anymore. So they're my top bits of advice and top tips for this week. Next week, I'm going to be uploading a video about how you can task your unconscious mind to help you with this. And that's moving over into the realm of hypnotherapy slightly, but it's a fantastic approach and it works. So I'll be posting a link at some point in this video for that video when it's made. My very best wishes. Until next time, my name is James Taylor. Take care. Bye bye.